education, a biological imperative. What are we supposed to do with our life? Or again, what is our purpose? Or again, where do we fit in? Or again, what is our goal in life? We are a mind, and as the life support system called mind or soul, we are responsible for the behavior of the body within which we reside, such that our behavior maintains and promotes that very life. We start with egocentricity, and grow to organize those particulars into a worldview which is organized and functional. In order to accomplish that, we learn to be very aware of the difference between the self and what is not the self, between us and that, even between body and mind. Putting that into a single word, between ourself and God, or between us and the expanse, or us and the universe. Whatever we call that, is what we are tasked to manage, and we manage that proportional to our intelligence, or simply said, doing what we can. If we do our own work, we are maintaining and promoting our life. If we are not doing our own work, we are letting ourselves die. This is a burden we are born with, and which we must learn to live with. In short, we are born to develop a life-sustaining behavior towards God. If you are having trouble tripping over words, then that is just the particular headspace you are in. Unlike our other life support systems designed for the physical processing of the environment, we are designed to process the intelligible of the environment, or again, making sense, reason, of all of it. We are potentially the most powerful life support system possible, because we are tasked to process all information about the whole of our environment. We cannot do it alone, we must be able to rely upon each other. Imagine, we are a grain of sand, upon a vast beach, tasked with containing the ocean. No particular grain of sand appears to be doing anything, however, that is a near-sighted view. Expanding our view, we see the container, the sand and the contained, the ocean. Narrowing our view, we find that grain of sand is very active and dynamic. So, we are responsible for how we even view the whole universe, or even the smallest part of it. Our emotions are tethered to our worldview, thus we are tasked with managing even our own emotions. What we must do, and can do, often appear to be contradictions. No matter, we must learn to master all of our own behavior before we have any ability to master our portion of the expanse. We all know we must satisfy the body's particular wants and needs, which are very distracting, and we must also form a sustainable particular method of doing that work. We manage the smallest to the greatest portion of the universe by a method called information processing. We must process information in order to respond to information. Perception determines conception, conception determines will. By now, you know that a computer processes information in binary, which means we do all of our work by binary recursion, or the recursive application of the smallest concept in order to master any combination of that result such that the result is derived from that single unit. We slowly learn how to take the smallest thing recursively in order to learn more and more complex things. Most people make the grave mistake of thinking that they can manage the more complex while never having learned all the simple things which lead up to it. Such a belief is symptomatic of a simpleton. No one but yourself is responsible for that behavior. Learning how to behave toward any portion of the environment is simply our biological imperative. Many simple-minded people claim, and demand, that we are born to, like our primitive life support systems, manage and be managed by particular things in the environment, and many are so mad as to believe that they have jurisdiction over our behavior, ignoring provable fact. We are managed by biological fact, the intelligible of the universe, and we learn first the intelligible of all information processing. If we do not learn how to do our own work, then it is simply a state of stupidity to claim that we can manage anything at all. No one, with the least bit of sense, can claim to manage anything at all, when they have demonstrably never learned the principles of management itself. Learning how to process information is what all of our elementary education is based on. Education is not being forced to parrot anything other than that which is demonstrably true to our own biological definition as a mind, or soul. We learn the intelligible before we have any use at all of any particular thing. We have to learn how to manage the smallest part of the perceptible by the intelligible, paired with our own body, step by step to achieve any larger part of the perceptible in anything resembling an intelligible response. We learn to train body and mind concurrently, or not at all. The intelligible and perceptible is a simple intelligible binary we learn to master all of the intelligible and perceptible by. Both the intelligible and the perceptible are, as Patanjali noted, yoked and work together. So, if one is so inclined, we learn how to live, by the yoga of life. We have only two concepts to master, which means we have countless sets of words by which to describe anything. We have to learn to be literate using names, themselves. There are two and only two parts of speech as demonstrated by the computer, by geometry, by definition of a thing. We can produce that intelligible binary and make it perceptible with our own hand as such. With our own hand, we learn by example, the principles of all information processing, which starts with the convention of names. The recursion of the elements of a thing gives us knowledge of the logical and mathematical operations performed with the perceptible binary afforded by our own hand. As the foundation of binary recursion is a convention of names, along with the physical application of binary recursion, every product of binary recursion maintains the convention of names used. This means that a definition is the preservation of a naming convention. Every proof is the product of the original convention of names managed by the operations performed with the part of speech which is named. Thus proofing is no more than demonstrating the composite result of our original convention of names. The complexity of any result is proportional to the tedious road traveled to arrive at that destination. With our metagrammar, often simply called geometry, we can demonstrate any line of reasoning, no matter how complex the result may be. With our own hand, we turn the intelligible binary into a physical binary performed by our own body, our own hand. Some very simple figures can only be expressed, for example in algebra, with a single equation which takes up even pages. The grammar we choose to express anything in, provides us with its ability to express things in accordance with its own convention of names. However, it is not common grammar, nor arithmetic, nor algebra, which is our metagrammar, our basic binary grammar. It is geometry. We learn to pair all of reasoning, by biological fact, with the behavior of our own hand. Therefore, learning, as intimated from the Bible, to Plato, to biological fact, involves pairing the intelligible behavior of the mind, with the physical behavior of our own hand. In biblical metaphor, we must let the physical marking by the hand produce the intelligible processing of a mind in order to learn how to distinguish good from evil, life from death. In other words, fulfilling our biological imperative. Only an idiot claims that they can regulate the behavior of their whole body, while never being able to demonstrate that they have mastered even the behavior of their own hand. Therefore, basic grammar involves learning the fundamentals of common grammar, arithmetic, algebra and geometry, led by the parallel, or yoked behavior of body and mind. So, be it Patanjali's yoked oxen, or Plato's yoke horses of a chariot, the chariot of the gods, is the same as the yoked oxen of a farmer. Therefore, our egocentric view has a very great range to exist into our world view. One can be boastful in dominating the environment, or host their own pity party about the drudgeries of life. We each construct our own world view, but can never change our biological imperative to have one. We are free to choose, but never free from ourselves. The perceptible is a given. The intelligible is the product of intelligence and education. By biological, provable fact, that particular education is a biological imperative. Elementary education produces a mind capable of using our grammar matrix to the limits of intelligence of any particular student. This type of education currently does not exist on the earth today. That is our common worldview, which must first come into being a reality, and, as I said, I certainly, being a single grain of sand, cannot possibly do it alone. I do not have to go to any beach at all, I am already there, and so are you. Which part of the beach are you, containing the water, or simply underwater? Are you drowning in your tears, or basking in the sun? You, and only you, construct your own. What matters? Revelation of the Bible and Socrates. Binary recursion can only produce a binary result, therefore, correct grammar can never create a paradox or contradiction. The biblical result is a unified humanity doing its biologically defined job of tending the garden of life, and anyone familiar with organized religion know that it has never supported that view. Not one religious organization has ever supported, maintained or promoted the making of man, a unified humanity doing its own work. The same is true of Socrates. Socrates / the standard of right and wrong once fixed, all difference of opinion among the judges, all sedition among the people, all lawsuits between citizens, all wars and contentions among communities, must be at an end. Memoirs of Socrates, Book 4, translated by Sarah Fielding, 1813. A mind processes all information in binary, and binary recursion can only produce a binary result, therefore, all errors in information processing is due to simple illiteracy. Mankind is still functionally illiterate. Mankind's poverty today is due to allowing the functionally illiterate rule over mankind. Mankind is still so stupid as to not realize the implication of a functional electric circuit for a light bulb. When the switch is off, the light is off. When the switch is on, the light is on. The inability to agree on that one simple fact, no matter how many switches and lights are tied together, only means that someone, or all, are incredibly stupid. It is not the grammar that is not working, it is the idiot claiming to be able to use it. As all information processing is the result of binary recursion, both the Bible, Socrates, Plato, and common sense are right. Only a binary result can be produced, and when it is not, then only a feeble mind is demonstrated. Today, we live in a world of feeble-minded savages, and the only way out is education, and reliance on the fact that psychology is commensurate with the principles of language functionally resident in the mind as a grammar matrix. It is the only result of biological fact. Without correct education, there is no possibility for the salvation of man.
False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the mind with evil. Phaedo by Plato,